Hi folks, it's 25 to 3 in the afternoon on Thursday the 14th of August 2025. I'm not in my normal location at the moment. A few separate things today, because it's one of those days, The void moon of the last few hours ended about 10 minutes ago. I've been sat here just tapping away on emails all day. And then I suddenly thought, time for a change. And then I looked at the software and realised that the moon changed sign about 10 minutes ago. So the moon is now at 0 degrees of Taurus. And when I looked at the chart, I realised I was setting up a chart for someone for tomorrow. As we speak, Pluto is at about 2-3 degrees of Aquarius. Saturn and Neptune are both at 1 degree of Aries. Uranus is at 1 degree of Gemini. Mercury is at 4 degrees and tomorrow 5 degrees of Leo. And Mars is at 4 degrees and tomorrow 5 degrees of Libra. So that's all 5 of the 6 masculine planets, all with planets in the very early degrees. Now, I just so happened to set up a chart for London, UK, tomorrow afternoon, Friday the 15th at 20 past 3. It's for a friend of mine who's having a dental appointment at that time. And I realised that at that time the ascendant was at 2 degrees of Sagittarius. And that made a perfect 6-pointed star in the sky. Now, 6-pointed stars where you've got 2 grand trines and 6 sextiles, a perfect hexagram, is really rare. Out of 30, 40, 50,000 charts that I've seen in my lifetime, I've seen a 6-pointed star in someone's chart once or twice, no more. So, from there, it's an easy postulation to say that for anyone, anywhere, who's astrologically knowledgeable or who has software, at any time in the next 24 to 36 hours, if you set up a chart, if you work out at what time anywhere between 1 to 6 degrees, 0 to 5 degrees of Sagittarius is rising on the ascendant on your local horizon, then that makes a 6-pointed star wherever you are. And this is such a good transit. It's got to be in the top 2-3% of all. And this is an amazing time to launch, initiate, begin, start. So, take out the ascendant. Anything that anyone starts at this time over the next 36 hours, with all of those planets trining, sextiling, and some opposing each other, is going to stand a slightly better chance than average of working out. But if you can organise it so that you've got 2, 3, 4, 5 degrees of Sagittarius on the ascendant, at the moment you start, and wherever you are in the world, that's going to be at approximately 3 to 4 p.m. local time, approximately, then you stand a good 15 to 20% chance of things working out better than average. It's a good time. And if any of you win the lottery at this time, I want 1%, please. It's a lovely chart. This is one of those rare occasions where I've only got good news on this, but take advantage of this. This is a great one. Yes, Mars is still opposite Neptune and Saturn, moving away. Yes, Mercury is still opposite Pluto, moving away. But the trines, from Pluto to Uranus, from Uranus to Mars, Mars to Pluto, and then from Saturn and Neptune to Mercury. And if you get that 0 to 6 degrees area of Sagittarius on the ascendant, then from Mercury and Saturn, Neptune to the ascendant, it makes a perfect 6-pointed star. Really rare, use it or lose it. It's a great time to be starting new things. And if you're fortunate enough to have planets in the first 5 degrees of Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, then the odds of things working out are more like 20 to 25%. Very good time. Anyway, I digress. Big thank you to those people who came to Alex Trenoweth's book launch last night. It was so lovely to meet. I met about 8 or 9 of you, and some of you I only had the chance to talk to for about a minute. 1 or 2 of you whom I've done readings, many readings for in the past. It was so nice to meet 1 or 2 of you whom I've done so many readings for over the last 10 years, but never met in person. That was lovely. I'm going to be doing more of this. Over the coming year, I'm going to be more and more in central London. So, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. No promises. 2 more things. Over this coming weekend, over this next 4 days, I'm going to be putting out a newsletter. I haven't done one since the start of 2024, end of 2023. And it's going to have all the information about the beginner's course that I'm going to be doing, both in person and the one that I'm putting online as a teaching aid. I'm also going to be talking about the upcoming events I'll be doing, how the documentary's getting on. I'll be talking about an event that I'm going to be hosting in southern Spain in the early new year. And there's a few other things in there. It's just one of those things I do every 12 to 18 months. So if I've got your email, if you're on my email list, if you've ever emailed me, I've got your email. And so, yeah, I'll be pumping it out over the weekend. And if you haven't had it by Tuesday, drop me a line. Now, I did get an email from someone this morning. In this last couple of weeks, I've been wrangling in my brain. I started seriously studying astrology around 1980 when I discovered this thing called the North Node. And from there, I quickly moved on to where it came from and where it originated in India. And with it came the Indian and the Hindu translation of the North and South Node, as to do with where you've been and where you're going, what you least need to learn but what you're really good at, and what you most need to learn but which is the biggest struggle. And with it came the Hindu translation of the word karma. Now, I got brought up in a kind of hard-working Christian Protestant ethic. And over the course of my life, I've got really hacked off with various religions trying to impose guilt and shame and duty. And I'm not going to rant too much because all of you know what I'm like on this. And to me, karma is just another religious guilt trip. If you're bad this lifetime, you will suffer next lifetime. And if you're good this lifetime, you'll have a better life next time. To which my attitude is, well, I'm too busy living this life to worry about past lives or future lives. I'm just trying to do my best for myself and for the world and for other people now at every ongoing second. And that's good enough. What happens in the future, what happened in the past is a snapshot of time. Where I am now is what's important. So I got caught up in this thing around other things attributed with the North Node, such as fate and destiny. And to a certain extent, this is the difference between Western and Eastern astrology, Vedic and sidereal, tropical sidereal. And I always associated fate with destiny. Now, in the last couple of days, I've had an email from one of my long-term clients who's going on about how karma's a bitch. And I got to thinking, well, you know what? Maybe not. Karma's only a bitch if you let it be. And if you buy into this thing around persecuting oneself because you're not doing things right or you're not good enough or everyone else says you're not trying hard enough. At the end of the day, only you can judge yourself. But when it comes to fate and destiny, I do think there's a difference. It's easy to say, this is my fate. It's written in the stars. This is why I'm on planet. This is what I'm going to do. And destiny is similar. My destiny is why I volunteered to come here in the first place, what my mission statement is, what my purpose is. But fate is much more definitive. You will do this. You're going to do it this way. This is your fate. And I'm like, and I immediately go, no, not me. It's easy to explain this astrologically because people with the majority of planets on the left-hand side of their horoscope are much more in tune with words like free will, choice and self-determination, whereas people with the majority of planets on the right-hand side of their horoscope are more in tune with words like fate and predetermination. And I've got everything on the left. So what comes first, the chicken or the egg, the horoscope or the attitude? But destiny says, okay, your destiny is this. You're going to do this in your lifetime. But the way you choose to do it is up to you. You can manifest this in a number of different ways. Okay, I was going to be a lawyer or a solicitor or a politician when I was young. It was all mapped out for me, and then things changed. And I became an astrologer instead, but I could have been an accountant. I'm great with figures, I'm great with numbers, and I'm great with pattern recognition. I'm glad I became an astrologer. But destiny talks of, you're going to do this in your lifetime, but the way you choose to do it is up to you. You can do it willingly, or you can be dragged kicking and screaming. Whereas fate says, no, you're going to do it this way. I'm certainly not a fatalist. And I feel that fate has a quality of religious guilt about it. It's not quite you are a bad person, but there are religious undertones here. Whereas destiny is more like self-determined. I don't think we can escape our destiny, but we can choose how it manifests. So as an astrologer, I could choose, as I've seen a few people do, to misuse astrology to become sordid and corrupt and twisted and to prey on weak people and to become greedy and obsessed with power. And I've seen one or two astrologers do this. Or to get caught up in, oh, I'm a better astrologer than you, and the politics of astrology. And I saw classic examples of this last night. Not, I hasten to add, with Alex or myself. Or I can choose to bring joy and laughter and to share with people the joy of living under one heavenly perspective. And yes, disagreeing sometimes on how to translate it, but not at the cost of personal friendships. I like the idea of destiny. I know from my chart that providing I live long enough, and I hope I do, that my peak is about 5 to 6 to 7 years away. Be in my second half of my 70s by then. So I've still got I've got big things to do. And I encourage you all not to get caught up in anybody else's ideas of who you are or what you should be doing. As soon as someone says you should, it's time to go bye. And to quote one of my favourite sayings, you're never going to get it right and you're never going to be good enough, but you're always getting better. And the only person who can tell you what is good enough is yourself. You are judge, jury and execution here. So you're not being asked to be perfect, ever. But you are being asked to do what your best is. And the only person who can tell you what your best is you. So as soon as someone else says you should, or if you love me, or you're not doing this right, just go, bye. You are your own judge, jury and executioner. So yeah, I ascribe to destiny. I don't have anything to do with fate. Okay, I'm at danger of ranting, so I'll call an end to that sermon. Watch your inboxes over the next few days. Catch you later, world. Bye.